Mr. Chu here with Trey Arithmetic. Today let's talk about the area of triangles. When we're talking about a triangle and we're talking about the area of that triangle, we need to define the height, the base, talk about the formula, and what units we use. So make sure that if you're someone who needs to find a different way of explaining the math so that you can understand it better, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. We'll talk about that later. So, let's talk about triangles. How many sides does a triangle have? It has 3 sides. That's what tri means. And it has 3 angles. So there's 3 angles, triangle. So anytime that I have a triangle that I want to find the area for, I'm going to have a right angle in it. There's going to have to be perpendicularity here. And when you have 2 sides that intersect to form a right angle in a triangle, we can talk about the height and the base. The base would be what we usually just think of as the bottom, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the bottom. It just has to be the side that is perpendicular to the height. And the height is from the vertex opposite the base down to the base at a right angle. And that little square formed that right there shows that that's perpendicular to the right angle. So the height is perpendicular to the base. So here's the formula we use for the area of a triangle. It's 1/2 the base times the height. I'll show you how we derive that in another video later on. The units that we use will always be in square units or units squared. So here's my height here. Here's my base. We don't need this side over here for, drop my cap, for my finding area. So in example 1, let's just use this example here, this picture. We're given the height is 6 meters and the base is 5 meters. So, in our example, H equals 6 meters and B equals 5 meters. It's just using the formula and substituting and solving it. So, I don't know the area. I do know the base is 5 meters. And I know the height is 6 meters. All right, so now I'm going to have to use the order of operations now. 1/2 of 5 meters is 2.5 meters times the 6 meters. And this is 15 meters times meters is 15 meters squared. See the square units? I said it has to be square units. That is the first example. Now in the second example we're doing today, we're going to merge a little bit of basic algebra to solve for a missing length when given the area. So it's a little bit more complex. You can always use this idea to find area using the simple formula and substituting, and then using arithmetic rules. Sometimes a triangle is shaped differently. When that's the case, we're going to have to identify that there's no right angle in here. So since there's no right angle, we're going to have to come down and draw one, and that becomes the height. And then where we have our intersection here, that becomes the base. So in this particular problem, for example 2, we're given the area of the entire triangle as 112 meters squared. And we're told that the base equals 14 meters. All right, so let me draw that in. And our goal is to find the height because we're given how much space that took up. And remember, area would be the amount of space that the triangle takes up. If you were going to carpet an area, paint an area. So I have to use my formula and substitute and then solve the equation using basic algebra. So I know the area is 112 meters squared. So I plug that in. Equals 1/2. I know the base is 14 meters, but I don't know the height. So now I'm going to have to solve this by first multiplying and then using inverse operations. So I have 112 meters squared equals 1/2 of 14 meters is 7 meters. And then I'm just going to do a raised dot for my multiplication of h. Now this meters squared can be written as meters times meters. This is important in order to get the right unit of measure for my height. Now any time that I have 7 meters h, or 7h meters, equals 112 meters squared, I can solve that by doing an inverse operation. The opposite or inverse of multiplying by 7 meters is to divide by 7 meters. And I do that to both sides. I always taught my pre-algebra students to cancel these. 7 over 7 is 1. That's why that cancels. It's gone. That's why we did it. Meters over meters is gone. That's 1. So I'm going to have my h over here, which is what I want. One of the meters cancels, and then I've got 112 over 7 meters. So that is my answer, but that's not simplified. So I can just take now and use arithmetic again. That's what this is called, Trey Arithmetic. 7 goes into 11 using long division 1 time. Subtract that. Bring my 2 down. 7 goes into 42 6 times. 6 times 7 is 42, and the 0 means it terminated, which means that equals 16 meters. So I can go up here and say this is a 16 meter height. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I'm Mr. Chew. This is Trey Arithmetic, area of triangles. I want to help you learn arithmetic. So join me, and there will be a link over here in the top to the perimeter of triangles video that I just recently did, and down here to a whole playlist of different Trey Arithmetic. I'll see you next time on Trey Arithmetic videos.